Good evening and welcome to the Upgrade City. No, I did it again. Every once in a while, when I elongate that good, my mouth starts talking, despite my brain knowing that I am doing an intro for the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, or East Village location, or the Chelsea location, or I never did the announcement. I guess by the time the Chelsea relocated to Hell's Kitchen. Anyway, welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build model kits and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber and you apply with those moats, if you're not a subscriber, you can, just say hi or use someone else's emotes or be a lurker. That's okay too. Aristovan is here. Hello, Aristovan. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. The thing is, I worked at other theaters after the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater and did announcements and never said the name. But sometimes when I'm like, good evening and welcome to the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. At this time, we're going to invite you to silence all cell phones, pagers, sidekicks, PDAs, iPhones, iPads, anything that would make noise that would disrupt the show. That is in my, it's just in me. It's just inside of me. I've talked about this before. That just lives in me. I said it at least 2 times, if not 4 times. Sometimes, hey, Lord Cratchit, sometimes it's between 4 times a night, 4 nights a week, sometimes 5 nights a week. Occasionally, unfortunately, 6 nights a week. I said that so many times, like I said, multiple times per night, that when I start with the good, I have to stop myself. I can't say good. I have to be like, good evening and welcome to the Bear Cave. We're here for the old Build With Baer Workshop. Like I said, these are just fun quirks that I have to live with. Tonight's agenda, we are going to finish this kit. We got the Build Burning Gundam. Again, not to be confused with the Burning Gundam from G Gundam, because that's not its real name. That's just its name in the English dub, for television's sake. Its real name is the God Gundam. So when I get that real great God Gundam, when's that coming? In July, so maybe actually August by the time it ships, but who knows, maybe July. Anyway, at some point in a couple months, I'm going to get myself that God Gundam, real grade, and it should be properly called the God Gundam. Maybe it won't, but I'm hoping it is. Anyway, we're going to finish this kit. We got one leg just about done. We got the feet done. We got to do the other legs. And then the waist, I think it already got delayed to August, says Lashbrook. Lashbrook, now you're going to make me look to see if... Ooh, you know what? One thing, my list of model kits and when they're coming out does not include where I pre-ordered them. Like, I know the ones that are premium, that's easy, but like, which one did I get this from? Did I get this from USA Gundam Store, or did I get this one from Gundam Planet? So now I'm going to see if I got it from Gundam Planet, because I don't always pre-order from Gundam Planet. I usually pre-order from USA Gundam Store. Lashbrook, I appreciate you letting me know that is being delayed. I should do a check-in and look at all of my orders. Let's see. So, let's see. That should be this one, I believe. Yes. So that's the God Gundam. I did get the I did pre-order the God Gundam from Gundam Planet. So then, can I go to... Why can't I let's say God Gundam. Let me see if I go to the God Gundam page. God Gundam. Come on. What? God Gundam. Why there? Gundam. RG. What? No, this is not. All right, well, there we go. Let's see if I can find this here on Gundam Planet's website. Well, fine, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to believe you, because it's not easy for me to search for that for some reason and get that. But that is the thing I will investigate later. So thank you, Lashbrook. I do know that I am getting something shipped. Let's see. So, where did that go? I am getting something shipped soon. I believe the end, or maybe actually it's the end of April, for 2 kits that are supposedly shipped in April. Yeah, they're going to get shipped towards the end of April. That is the high grade White Rider and the high grade Black Rider, which are variants of the Pale Rider. And those both look real cool, and those are premium Gundam kits, and I got a shipping date on that. Okay, delayed for various reasons. I got a link here in chat. Postpones the Real God Gundam release. Was posted a press release on March 23rd. Did not see that press release. Delayed a couple months due to various reasons. Okay, so now it's August instead of, well, originally it said June, but I had July as that coming out. So apparently I had the wrong release month. My guess is it was late June, and Gundam Planet thought they were going to get it in July or ship it out in July. So, okay, that apparently is August. So God Gundam is August. Okay, well, I will adjust that on my master list of all of the kits I have coming out. I have a bunch of kits that I have pre-ordered. So yeah, I mean, it happens. Hopefully it won't be delayed even more. But yeah, I have the Exia Repair Real Grade, unless that's been delayed. I don't even know who I pre-ordered that from. That must have been USA Gundam Store. Supposedly that's shipping this month. The White Rider and Black Rider in May. The new Gundam entry grade. The Raider Gundam Full Mechanics also in May, and the Asmodeus High Grade in May. I believe one of those is premium. The Part Separator in June. The Gundam Asclepius. I don't know how to say that. Asclepius. That might actually be the premium. God Gundam, Heavy Arms, Endless Waltz Master Grade. The Endless Waltz Master Grade of Heavy Arms that I've wanted for years and years. That is a July. August is the Heavy Arms Custom High Grade, which is basically just the that beautiful purple Heavy Arms. Yeah, balloon purple. Love it so much. The with a little teal in there. The Custom Heavy Arms High Grade is just that Heavy Arms that came out a couple years ago, but it's the double barrel. It's the mid-season minor upgrade, not enough to get it a new name or an addition to the name. And then the high grade Veit and Mercurius, and then in October the Shenlong Gundam High Grade. Better bet I pre-ordered that. Looking forward to that Shenlong with the new molding. And then, fingers crossed, at some point, we're going to get that Death Scythe Hell high grade, because they already made that in order to make the inverted Death Scythe. So they made that Death Scythe Hell for the Live Lance. Dirty just subscribed to Tier 1. That's 32 months saying, Evening Bear Cave. So let's throw the Bear Cave Lego to the site emote in the chat. And thank you very much, Dirty, for this. We're going to hit the old applause. So yeah, throw those emotes in there. Dirty, thank you so much for being a subscriber for 32 months. That's a lot of months. I appreciate it very much. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to reply to my tweet with my bad... Not really a joke, just a reference that it's time to finish the fight. The fight is this model kit. I do have the next thing that we're working on, which I will, just say the name of. Or try to say the name of. Esposito Beta. The Esposito Beta is the. This is an Halo model, is it? No, it's not. The next kit that I'm working on is my first ever 30-minute missions. I got a 30-minute missions kit. I finally got one at a reasonable price for the amount of not so much plastic that comes with this thing. I look forward to building it. And this one kind of transforms. It's got a transformation mode. It's not, whatever. It's not just the mobile suit like leans forward and then like is kind of a jet. It bends in a way that I think is silly. Anyway, we finished the upper part of our build burning. And now we got a leg done. We're going to complete the leg here, and then we're going to start working on the other, which is basically this, but, the reverse. And then I assume, we'll do the waist and the sides, side skirt, and then the connectors. And then we'll add all of the many, many effects parts that this kit has. John wants more Macros models that transform, but I know mechanically why I won't see them. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the Kyrios is probably my favorite kit that transforms because the shield isn't the cockpit. The cockpit is just like on the back of it. Lord Crashington wants to hear this ska song. The last time you'll hear it tonight. I mean, you'll hear it tonight, maybe more if more people want me to play it. But tomorrow, I'll be adding a different song so that on Saturday's stream, we have different music. But let me get that right there. Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry. It's this. That reminds me, I don't know if I've updated my PowerPoint, which is the easiest way I do to make my my schedule. I got to update that for tomorrow, because tomorrow is April Fool's Day. I did not get fooled yet. And you're saying to yourself, well, Pat, it's the 31st, so how would you get fooled? Well, that's the thing. By now, it's the 1st for parts of the world. They've had it the 1st. April Fool's, no more E3. Yeah, we'll get into E3. I did tweet this, and I do stand by it. Props to them for putting it out today instead of burying it at 5 p.m. West Coast time tomorrow, because then people would have been like, is this an April Fool's? And it's like, no, this is real. But yeah, just April Fool's. I'm a broken record on this as being a hater. I am a big hater when it comes to the fools. I don't pity them. I just don't enjoy them. I'm not a fan at all of any part of the shenanigans that is April Fool's, because it is just bad liar time. So yeah, I got caught a couple years ago with somebody putting out a video on March 31st because he was living in Japan, and it was about Gunpla, and I reported it as fact on this very stream, and someone was like, those seem fake, and I was like, I was so mad at myself for getting caught up in shenanigans. So today, I've taken everything with a grain of salt, and I hope that you will as well. 4/1 is the day I have my annual physical every year since 30. That is a very funny time to do that. I don't like corporations trying to be cheeky on April Fools. Corporations and brands aren't people. They need to be reminded of that. Yeah. So I will say, there have been times in my life where I appreciated brands. And honestly, that's when brands would do things that were obviously stunts and goofy times, and were having fun with us. Funnier. I bring up this example a lot, but I enjoyed Funny or Die's shenanigans, where one year all the videos on their front page were Justin Bieber videos, some of which were old things that he had done with them. Other things were made just for that, with the idea that they had set up that he had bought Funny or Die. And I thought that was a funny bit of business, because it was obviously no, Justin Bieber didn't buy Funny or Die. This is just a goof. I like that. Think Geek, I appreciate the fact that they would gauge interest on they would use April Fools to basically test market ideas that they were maybe out there that they wanted to do, and because they could then point hey, look at the response we got for this joke. We should actually, hey, licensor, please let us make this thing. I like that. I think that's a fun thing. But when it's hey, this thing is happening. Get excited about this thing's happening. Haha, April Fools. I was lying about the thing that's happening. I don't enjoy that at all. I find that to be shitty. So As always, just to have a critical eye when it comes to stuff. We should always have a critical eye when it comes to things like that. But check your sources. If people are making announcements with no follow up, be careful. Blind retweets can often be bad. One of the ones that really sucked was College Humor did a thing where they got a banner made and matched the font and color and treatment of In and Out, and put on a building that was under construction this banner like coming soon, and put it looked legit. And then they had a few people who were not they sent him into Gothamist and Gawker and a few other New York based things. And then they had people who were not staff members send it in, and then it got retweeted, and that went viral, and enough people thought it was legit because it wasn't like College Humor put that out there. They just seeded it to make it it looked really legit, and that was a bummer for people that wanted there to be an inexpensive fast food that was tasted good. Also, we don't have that on the East Coast, so it is coveted. That was a bummer. That wasn't fun. And there's plenty of examples of those things where it's like I said, I gave my example of treating news. It was real. Because the thing that was where it was this person is just saying, hey, look, we're getting word of there was a release and these things are coming out. They just listed model kits that people want to exist, new versions of. And it's just oh, yeah, we would like those. So it's funny that we're not getting them because you made it up. Huh. Yeah, silly us. Silly me for wanting the Devil Gundam, new Devil Gundam high grade. I mean, I know I'm never getting the new Devil Gundam high grade, but what if I got the new Devil Gundam high? What if there was a new Devil Gundam high grade and I could have that? What if I could get that? There is a piece. Here it is. Great. There's a piece I clipped out by mistake, and then I couldn't find it, and I was like, that's going to be a problem because that is an important part of this model kit. But I did find it, which is great, because for a second there, I got a little worried. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work if I don't have this part. I can build the leg, it's just not going to attach to anything. Speaking of April Fools, tomorrow is the 15th anniversary of Gurren Lagann. Nice. Okay, so we mentioned it before. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. E3 digital was going to happen this year. They weren't going to do an in-person E3 this year. They were going to do a digital E3 this year. They are now no longer doing that. But the ESA does say that E3 will be back next year in digital and in-person form. And I don't believe them. I don't believe that it'll be... I'll say this. I don't believe there will be a digital version next year because I think that's done. I think the reason there's not a digital version this year is because people want to do stuff with Jeff Keighley because that gets results and works, and it doesn't seem to cost people lots of money, because that's the thing about the ESA is that they wanted to have their digital E3 experience and have people pay them a lot of money to do it, and people were like, what? No, we're not going to do that. Now, I'm sure money changes hands with Keighley's stuff, but it also seems like it's not necessarily that kind of a deal. And it just always felt like, no, what are you talking about? Now, if they're going to be a physical E3 next year, I could see them trying it. Maybe a smaller one, maybe another Santa Monica-ish kind of a event. Because there's still money to be spent on getting everyone together, or a large chunk of people together. Letting people have a year off to see how much E3 doesn't matter is a bold move. Yeah, John, I agree. So I don't think a digital event will happen next year. I think this is them saying we give up on digital. Now, a in-person event again, I do think it's possible that they will try to do it. Now, who knows what international travel will be next year? They got a whole year to get excited about it and all of that. But I think they're right to pull back because it very much insider folks are saying that the writing was on the wall and that big companies are either doing it for themselves or they're going to work with Jeff Keighley's Summer Games thing, or both. They're going to do their own thing and also, throw him a few bones and get a few announcements in there when there's a lot of eyes on a product or a venue. And by no matter, I mean cost benefit for companies, not the not the experience people have. Yeah, I mean, like E3's attempt to be PAX and E3 at the same time was an interesting idea because honestly, it wasn't that we're trying to be PAX, they were trying to be Gamescom, which has days for press only and then has days for the public. It's both. It is E3 and Gamescom is E3 and PAX. So that's kind of where E3 was trying to go, and it makes sense that they should try to do that, but it also was very clear they didn't know how to do that or weren't interested in doing it in a way that made sense for people outside of the mystique of, I'm going to E3. Because I even saw people tweeting about like, oh man, I never got to go to E3. And I was like, why would you go to E3? And that's not to be mean. I'm not saying why would you go because you are someone that covers games for a podcast or your Twitch or YouTube or whatever. I'm not saying you don't deserve to go there. I'm saying what would, other than saying you went to E3, what's the point of that for you? Because you weren't you run into people and see people probably, but you wouldn't be cutting the line. You wouldn't be getting appointments to see things. You wouldn't like have big interviews lined up. You might not even be able to get into press conferences. So you're just going for the fan stuff? But like, I mean, at some point, TwitchCon is going to get better. Every year, TwitchCon, according to reports of people I know who are attending TwitchCon, every year they figure it out a little bit more. And like, eventually, it's going to be the thing to go to if you don't go to the Penny Arcade Expos. And of course, I have friends that have loved their time at BlizzCon. I don't think we're ever going to see BlizzCon again. I don't know why non-press, non-developers go to E3 or GDC. So I can understand a little bit about GDC because the reason to go to GDC if you are not a game developer is to go to bars and run into people during GDC because generally those developers, like, the thing is, if you have press friends, you don't really see them at E3 because they are going to meetings and then they're doing, then they're trying to crash and they're going out to eat and they're, trying to talk to people and all that. GDC is like, there's a lot of BarCon stuff. Like, a thing I always hear rumblings of is people being like, oh, I overheard some weird ass shit this year at GDC is what I get a lot. So I understand why people want to attend that because they want to meet people. And GDC is a great place to go for some networking things. You can try to meet people at the head of companies, folks that are covering games but don't have like a foot in the door as far as getting codes. It's a good place to run into a bunch of people, say whatever, like pass along your name and all that. Try to get on release lists and stuff for marketing groups, stuff like that. Like it can be beneficial. E3 always felt like it's like, do you really want to go to LA just to like stand around? I don't know, but I do get it. I do think that it was kind of a waste of people's time to go for that. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I don't have any nostalgia for E3 because I've never been, and I watched some of the big press conferences, and then you get to hear about games from some people. Of course, I was a fan of the Giant Bomb late night shenanigans. I thought those were very fun. And then when Tested was doing some stuff at E3, and then also back in the day what's the one in Vegas? They would go to that. So like I did kind of like those late night talk show kind of things. I mean, uh, as somebody that never really CES, thank you, John. Appreciate that. CES, yeah, that escaped my brain. As somebody who never read Joystick, and I didn't know that the McElroy brothers were great up until Justin started making appearances on Giant Bomb like E3 late nights, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check these guys out. Now, I should say that for quite some time before that, I had heard many times it had been recommended, My Brother and Me, the podcast, by a couple games people that were like, this is the funniest podcast out there. But because those weren't comedy people making a podcast or comedy people recommending the podcast, I didn't listen to it because that's how I am, because I am only really snooty about comedy, and it sucks, and I am better than I was about that, but I'm still not great about it. But it was like, oh, these three guys who aren't comedians do a comedy podcast, and games people I know recommend it, but nobody I know who is a comedian has ever heard of it. I'm good. I like that podcast. I like those boys. I had goofed. I was the one that was foolish. Should have trusted the recommendations that were coming on my Twitter feed about my brother and me all those years ago. I had goofed about it. Anyway, yeah, I don't have any nostalgia for it. I do like, some of the stuff. Like, there was a year of these streams here where my Thursday night stream, I did it early because I wanted to watch, because of course Thursday night was the last night, and that's when the Lang and Boys and Vinyaki would make an appearance, and it was a mess. And it wasn't just that I was like, oh, well, a large portion of my audience likes Giant Bomb stuff and would want to be watching that. I also wanted to watch it live because it's just not the same to watch that later. So there was definitely a year where I preempted my Thursday stream and did it early so that we would be done in time. Because my Thursday streams used to be earlier, and then when it moved to its current time, I was like, oh, no. Can't miss out on the last night. These days, I almost never reschedule my streams for live events that are happening. Unless I'm involved in it. Like, the last Saturday of April, I'm not going to be streaming because I'm going to be doing a charity stream a couple hours before that. I'm not going to go from the charity stream to stream on my own here. Just not going to do that. So it'll, be replaced. But it's very rare that it happens. Like, I'm been talking about doing, there might be a Monday this coming month, where I reschedule the stream because I'm going to be on another stream and there'd be a conflict. I would love to avoid that, but that feels unavoidable because I am attempting to make appearances on various video and podcasts and such to promote the Plastic Model Weekender. I got an email about that I have to read after the stream's over because Jason, aka Bad Gunpla, sent it while the stream, just as my stream was going live, and I was like, I don't have time to look at this, Jason. So I'm putting all these blue pieces here. We've seen these blue pieces, and I'm putting on this here, and then I'm gonna have to pop these out and replace them with their orange equivalent because the effect parts are all orange and I want them to match. So that's a little annoying, but if I had known ahead of time, I think I would have just put the orange pieces in right away and not done the blue, but whatever. It technically is supposed to have those blue components, and then the blue clears, and then you switch over. This thing does have a lot of effects parts, and I do think that's rad. Thank you very much. So we will get to that. Okay, other things. So we talked about E3. That's fine. PlayStation Plus, they are finally rolling out their competition to Game Pass, their version of it. If you get the yearly, you are spending less than you would for Game Pass, but you are not getting things day and date with release. You are getting things later. There are a lot of tiers for it, including some top tiers that also involve PlayStation Now, which is going to be ending its reign as a alternative competition. It also ran, whatever you want to call it. But basically, they are getting rid, or they're incorporating PlayStation Now into PlayStation Plus, which makes a lot of sense for them to do. But basically, you know, it is cheaper, but you don't get all the stuff right there. PS3 games are going to be streaming only, PlayStation Now only streaming. You can't download those because they don't want to do the work. They don't see it being necessary to do the work. That's the choice they made. It would cost time and money, and they have chosen not to do that, which is their choice. Now, as someone that does not own a PlayStation currently, this does not mean much at all to me. It might mean that some people get to play some games they otherwise wouldn't play, and that's rad. I think that's great, and that is a good service. Does it make sense for I prefer PlayStation, but I want to see games on tiers before I switch. Yeah, you want to see what those games are, right? I'm never gonna get Eternal Sonata on a modern console. No, John, you never will. The modern console for you to play that is to find out how the emulation of that is and see if it will run on your computer. That's your answer to that, unfortunately. It's gonna be interesting to see what games are on there and when they're available. PlayStation is a big money maker for Sony. So it does make some sense that they are not as willing with Microsoft as Microsoft is to make it a loss leader. Whereas it's all about getting you on Game Pass. So Microsoft is fine with you not spending $70 on a game and because you're spending money with them monthly. Sony doesn't look at it that way. It makes sense. PS3, I think, is pretty solid. Yeah, that's good. I haven't looked into it because it's just not something that has appealed to me at this point in getting looking into emulation. But at some point, I probably will because this computer can probably handle it certainly more than my previous computer. So I'll have to take a look-see on some emulation of some stuff for research purposes, of course. Of my my games that I already own, of course. I was going to recommend something, but I realized I was thinking about Etrian Odyssey and not Eternal Sonata. Yep, Dirty. Those are different games. So yeah, I mean, like I said, time will tell if this is going to be a good deal. I mean, if you are invested in the PlayStation. And you do not have an Xbox and your PC is not up to snuff and you would like to get some games and it doesn't cost you much more than you're already playing because PlayStation is your primary, so you already have PlayStation Plus, like, okay, these could be things. It also is going to be interesting to see what exactly they mean by rotating, like, you know, what comes and goes on these things, how much of it is rotating, does it rotate, that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see how they choose to do that. Like I said, that time will tell on all of that. I hope it's great. I hope it's great and everybody has a good time and gets to play cool video games and likes it. I don't have it for the PC. I have certainly thought of it. There have been times where I have. I've almost pulled the trigger. I have had it briefly, the PC version of Game Pass, and I did not keep it. I did not use it that much, but I probably would use it more in the future. So it is certainly, again, with my computer being in the state it is currently, with it being pretty damn good, I am certainly thinking about that. They are both filed on Ian and my brain's shoddy filing system. Well, I played them both, says John. So there you go. Makes sense. Also, I didn't mention this. We're at 41 subscribers right now. Love to get 45 by the end of the month. Let's start. I would love to start April with 45 subscribers. If we don't, that's okay. But I didn't say it yet, and I'll mention in the middle. Figured I would say it now. We will, of course, at some point very soon, have our Pause for the Cause, and I'll talk ways to support the channel and do all that shenanigans. That's coming at some point. I do have to... What? Weird. What? Did I put the wrong one? I did. This is the wrong one. This is... Yes. This goes on this foot. This goes on this foot. There we go. Put the wrong thing on the wrong foot. There we go. Because you want this on the outside. I got it now. I get it. I understand. I had goofed, and then I fixed my goof. Hooray. Hooray for me. I did it. Other things to talk about tonight. I'm not super excited about WrestleMania. I want to be hyped for WrestleMania because it's the granddaddy of them all. And there are some matches on there that seem like they would be cool. But I think part of it is the fact that I... as of tomorrow, we'll have a High Dive subscription. And of course, I'm getting my 14 free days and all that. But I'm like, do I really want to sign up for Peacock for like a month just to watch WrestleMania and maybe catch up on a few other things? Do I really want that? Do I want that? I don't think I do. Also, the fact that with it being 2 nights, that means I'll be streaming during night 1 of WrestleMania. I might pull the trigger. Look, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. On Sunday, I might be sitting around and going, you know what? I'm just going to get it. So Sunday, I could call an audible. Right now, I don't have anything planned for Sunday night. I could decide I want to watch night 2 and then get caught up on night 1 later. Or something remarkable could happen on night 1, and I could make my decision. I think night 1 does end with the Stone Cold thing, so that might hype me up, and I might be like, okay, well, now I kind of want to, watch night 2. I don't know. I think the main event, I'm like, I don't kind of care, because they're going to, like, smush the 2 belts together, and then there's going to be a new belt anyway. So I'm like, I don't know. Lord Crashington says, I do like seeing the PS Plus tiers have decent prices for the yearly sub, so the top tier is a good bit cheaper than Game Pass when there's no yearly option for Game Pass. Yes, but also it would suck if you got a year of PlayStation Plus and then it turned out to not be worth it at all. And like 3 months in, if you were like, oh, they a bunch of the games I liked are gone and they didn't put new ones in, and they're not trickling the new ones in enough or anything, and like, that would be a real bummer. It's funny, I keep seeing all these cool shows being announced in Dallas. It's going to be a while to remember WrestleMania was in Dallas. Yes, Lashbrook. There's also a lot of other wrestling happening that weekend. Almost everything great is going to be on Fight TV, FITE.TV, Fight TV. Just about everything you kind of want to see will be there. Also, you can do what I do and wait for Newegg to do a sale on 3 month of Game Pass Ultimate and stock up. That's good. Good call, Ashbrook. That is a good call. All right, let's get the waist together here because we're getting close to finishing this kit up. That is a good call. Yeah. So also there's at least one show that's just on somebody's. There's a couple shows that are just going to be on Twitch that you can just watch on somebody's Twitch channels. There's a big master list out there. I think Fanbyte might have a big list. Fightful, I believe, has a big list as well of like all of the cool shit to check out. But I'm going to be watching a lot of probably replays of stuff because there's only so many shows I'm going to buy on Fight TV. You know what I mean? That weekend. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot of like trying to find fan cam footage of weird, cool moments that happen. I think Joey Janela versus X-Pac. X-Pac is like my like dark horse for like cool match of the weekend, because that could be really good. Joey can definitely carry a match for somebody who might be his retirement match. Should probably be his retirement match. So I'm like, I'll probably check that out. I don't know. There's a bunch of good stuff. The Collective has a bunch of cool stuff, and lots of good wrestling out there this weekend that I'll check out in the future. I'm just not super amped up about the old WWE stuff, and I would like to be, because there's good people involved that I like. Like, it's a thing where I'm like, Sami Zayn is wrestling in a like basically a jackass match, and that sounds silly in a way that I could get behind if they really go for it. I hope everyone's okay. I want John Knoxville to be fine, because he's earned it. But yeah, who knows? Zicky Dice has a show on Twitch tomorrow, says Jam. Hey Jam, and also thank you. Yes, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff on Twitch coming up for people to check out, and some of that stuff does sound real good. There should be real bonkers. We're gonna get some bonkers ass matches and some good nonsense coming up. Lots of good matches out there. I think I'm a little more interested, but I don't know. I go through phases with wrestling. I'm kind of on a like match per match basis with wrestling right now. Like, I'm interested in cool matches and not like all of the other stuff that like waiting for the good stuff to come. I'm just not as interested in that. It's like The Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. I don't want to watch that. Now, if it ends with Dominic Mysterio turning, and starting a program with his dad where he's like, hey, like for respect or whatever, like, I'm interested in seeing where that goes, but that I'm not interested in watching the match that might lead to them having issues. Like, that's not as interesting to me. That's just where I'm at with that. So anyway, like I said, would love to be more invested in the wrestling right now, in the WrestleManias, but I'm not. I wouldn't mind being, but currently not. Other things to talk about. So I had a meeting yesterday with a theater that is in Chicago. They have positions available for a tech, and I had applied for it. They were a little vague about like how many hours this is going to be. Is this full time? Is this part time? And they're kind of vague because they wanted to see who was sending in resumes and who they wanted to talk to. It was very nice to have a meeting where I am not pitching, I am not asking people to go out on a limb. Because a lot of times when I apply for jobs, I am saying like, hey, you do things this way. I'm a weirdo that wants to do things differently in your company. Take a chance on me, this weird dude that understands a lot of stuff you don't understand. In this case, I was just like, I don't live in New York City right now, but I was the best tech there. My qualifications are, I'm very fucking good at teching. Here's my resume. Take a look at this. Here are my references. Go talk to them. I got laid off because they closed the theater I was working at, and the other head tech they had recently hired, and he was going to be a lot cheaper to keep on for the brief period they were open rather than me, and it made sense. And so right now, I don't know what this means. I was not offered a job or anything, but I had a very good conversation with people, and it might turn into more conversations. We're going to check in next week. I will say, if they offer me a couple hours a week, I'm not moving to Chicago for I'm not moving to Chicago for a part-time job. I'll tell you that. If they offered me a full-time job, or if they offered me, though, thank you, Wristvan, appreciate that. If they offered me hey, so we would like you to, work here full time and we're going to figure this thing out. Or we can offer you part time right now. And the contract says that in how many months, somebody else will wrap up working here and you'll have more hours. I don't know. I do know it was very cool because we had mutual friends, and that's always fun to talk to people about that. It was fun to talk to comedy people about comedy stuff. Did we talk about Chris Rock and Will Smith? Of course we did. And all of that. Because we were talking about a bunch of different things, and then like it came up and whatever, and be like, I'm a former house manager, and I did all that. I like being in the tech booth, blah blah. And I said like, if I do have to get between a patron and a performer, I will. But I hope that you have other people who are paid to do that. And then the person I was talking to was just like, yeah, we hopefully won't have a lot of Will Smiths. And I'd be like, yeah, that'd be great. That would be good. So that was to me very funny. They were like, well, we have to talk that. I'm tired of seeing opinions. Yeah, that was Dana Radcliffe being like, Dana Radcliffe basically saying like, stop asking everybody that. Why are you asking? Like, does Daniel Radcliffe have a relationship with either of those people? No. Is he a comedian? Even? No. Is he has he been attacked by somebody in the audience at a show? No. What does Daniel Radcliffe have to do with any of that? I'd appreciate that. Bobby Dice Roller just subscribed with Twitch Prime. That's 20 months. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. And thank Bobby for that. I'm going to hit the applause right here. Thank you very much, Bobby, for your continued support. It means a lot. 20 months. That's a lot of fucking months. So thank you very much for that. On your way to 2 years, which fucking rules. What do you think about people thinking about that? Let's go meta. Yeah. What do you think about the people that say we shouldn't talk about it? Anyway, it was very fun to talk with people about comedy shit. To talk to comedy folks about comedy. Where is? Uh-oh. Hold on. C6. There it is. I thought this sheet was done. Thankfully, it didn't go to the trash. I just threw it next to the trash, so I was able to reach over and get it. See, never throw out your sprue until you are absolutely, positively sure that you have taken everything off of it. Just even if you think like, oh, I'm just cleaning up, you might be making it annoying for yourself. We're getting low latency stuff buffering there. Sorry about that. I hope everything's okay. We did have some storms here over in South Carolina, where I am. The wind has been blowing mighty fierce, as they say. So hopefully everything will be cool here on the old internet, and our connection will be rock solid and good. Haven't dropped any frames yet, which is nice. But yeah, I didn't get rained on, so that was nice. When I went for my walk today, I was afraid that was going to happen because the skies were cloudy, but the clouds were moving fast enough that I was like, I think I'll be okay. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, would I move to Chicago for a job? Fuck yeah, I would move to Chicago for a job. It was a really good job in a theater doing stuff I'm excellent at doing. I miss comedy theater very much. I miss knowing about upcoming comedy people and doing my goddamn job that I'm very good at in comedy spaces. I have never been to Chicago. I was going to say I have a lot of friends in Chicago, but I don't have a lot of friends in Chicago anymore. I have a lot of friends that used to live in Chicago because Trin moved, Tom moved, internet friends, and we've rated him, Joe Kim. Joe Kim and I have never hung out in person. We've hung out like around each other at conventions, but never like chilled. But we're like internet friends. My internet friend Joe Kim was living in Chicago up until like recently and is moving back to Seattle. So like, I'm not gonna be around Joe, like to hang out with Joe. So it's just like, and then I was like, oh, I know a few people in Chicago. Most of them are married, which is not a problem, but it means I probably can't crash with them. It's definitely different to be like, hey, Can I crash on your couch? I got this job. When you're like, when you've got like, oh, this is our apartment. Also, especially if people, like, it'd be weird if I was like, hey, can I crash on your couch? Oh, you work from home and you work in your living room? Okay, yeah, no. Like, it's a different story. So I don't have a lot of deep connections with people in Chicago. But I have a lot of friends who have friends in Chicago, so I could, like, see what's up. And then also, you know, the hope is wherever I end up, if I end up working a job there, I could just hang out and talk, you know, see some people there. Make friends. Again, I don't know if this is going to happen, but let's be honest, friends. Let's just be real and honest for a fucking second. Having things to look forward to and get excited about is very important for me. I like having things to be, like, psyched about and thinking about. So, like, that's what I'm going to go. You can live in Pat's garage. Is his family still in the Chicago area? I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it's just a thing where I'm like, maybe. Like, I have to, like, Patrick Klepek. Yeah, I mean, I think all of Patrick's relatives are in the Chicagoland area, including him, and I would probably have to, I don't know if I would be in, like, Patrick doesn't go into Chicago proper, even before the pandemic. He didn't have a reason to. He's in the suburbs. So, like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I could, like, go for coffee and hang out with Patrick once. Like, it's the thing, you know? I'm not like, oh, I got this all figured out. He has a full house of them. Yeah, also, no, he's in the suburbs. I definitely would not ask a person with a wife and 2 kids that I know. And have I met Katie before? Yeah, I've met Katie before. But, like, there's a big difference between, like, that and like, showing up and being like, hey, let me crash here. What's up, kids? I'm friends with your dad. I'm gonna. I was a referee in one of his panels where he competed against your Uncle Dan. I don't think they call him Uncle Dan. Uncle Pat's here. Yeah. No. Chicago used to be one of my, like, escape cities. Now, when I say escape city, I'm not talking about, like, oh, there's a natural disaster. I'm talking about, like, I gotta leave New York. I gotta get out of here. My 2 cities were Boston and Chicago. And the idea was that there were people in those cities, and it was close. Philadelphia was also one of them. Philadelphia still is one of them, where I knew people enough that I could, like, crash on a couch and, like, figure stuff out. This would be like, oh, I got fired, and, like, not like severance fired. I got, like, fired, or, like, just, like, some kind of life thing happened, like, something went south, and I had to, like, bolt. Most of my Boston friends don't live in Boston anymore that I would have leaned on and that would have been supportive of me. In fact, none of them live. All my cool Boston friends don't live in Boston anymore. And then my Chicago friends, most of them don't live in Chicago anymore. And so it's just like, oh yeah, all right. And in fact, that's true. One of my this is a true thing. One of my Chicago friends, when they moved to New York, their apartment fell through while they were shipping stuff. So they got instead of to the apartment they couldn't live in, they sent everything to the storage unit and crashed on my couch for 5 days. So I was their emergency in their escape city. All right, so this goes like this. We are almost body complete on this kit, and we'll do effects parts after the pause of the cost. I would say the chest on this kit is weird looking. I don't know if I like this weird. Oh no, that actually looks better. When I push this ball up into the kit, that looks better. Wait, what am I missing here? Oh, I am missing something. There's a poly cap that I'm missing. I was like, this doesn't sit right. What am I doing wrong? There's a poly cap that goes here, and then that connects to that, and then that makes sense. And this kit is built. And of course, we're gonna have to do all of the cool shit on this. Oops. Backpack thing does not like to stay on. It'll like it even less when I have to put effects parts on it, or when I put effects parts on it. We're gonna put this on a stand because that just looks cooler. And I like to do this with this particular stand put this thing in there, and then attach it so I don't break the plastic. I get a bit irrational and annoyed when I find a shortcut in Tunic and it was just hidden by the camera, mostly at myself for missing it. Lord Crashington, yeah, I had to let that go, Lord Crashington, when it comes to that. I had to kind of be like, you know what? Some of these things I could have stumbled on. I didn't. I went a different way. And maybe it would have been easier if I had gone this other way, but I made the choice I made, you know? But I do understand that, like, yeah, sometimes the secrets are things that you're like, well, is this like a secret or a limitation? And you gotta have to make the decision on that. All right, so here's our kit. I genuinely think this is a great model kit. The Build Burning Gundam is very fun looking. I think this was a fun little build. We still have a bunch. I still have so many effects parts to put on this thing. But overall, I think this is great. And then we got all kinds of weird effects parts to put on here to make like big flaming fists and kicks and stuff. It's going to be really silly when we do that, which we will do in the next hour, and then start on the 30-minute missions. I guess we'll switch over to that. Also it has a bunch of other hands if you want to do like the palm thing or the open hands. But I like the fists because I think this kit is a good punchy kit. So I like doing that. And they also give you, I should say, this kit does give you the parts so you don't have to swap these out. You can just do all the hands together. If you want to have all the hands and just swap the hands out, they do give you that, so you don't have to take like the fist off and then put that on the same thing. You can just swap them all through, and that's very cool. And I believe there might be an effects parts for the hands as well. I don't remember. No, it doesn't look like there are. Oh yeah, we can swap out those hands with that, which is cool. So we'll be doing that as well. Before we take our pause for the cause, I'm going to take a photo of this because that's fun. Take a photo of this, and then I can like look at it like without effects parts, with effects parts. So we'll just kind of do like this down here. Yeah. So pardon me while I take a photograph of my model kit that I built. And photograph of the model kit that I built. Oops, yeah, it does like to pop off of its, come apart a little bit here. So I don't love that, but I understand. We'll do an overhead shot of it as well. Great, okay. Then we're gonna get ready to do some effect parts on this, but first, we gotta do a pause for the cause. Right now, folks, if you're currently a subscriber of the old Build With Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moon in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber. Subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do here. And if you're new to the stream, what's happening right now is I'm just taking a short break from model kit building to talk to you about ways you can support what I do here. I value your continued support very much. Just watching is great. Chatting if you'd like, that's fantastic. If you haven't already given me a follow, make sure you're following the channel. We are very close to 1,700 followers, which is a good big number. We're at 1,691, which is also a very big number. we're gonna get back to building, but I just want to talk to you about ways that you can support what I do here, because I would appreciate it. Let's see. As I said, becoming a subscriber using Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. Tonight, we had Dirty resubscribe with Cash Money and Bobby resubscribe with Prime. So there are two different ways to do it. You could gift a sub, like Aristophan has. You could do bits and coins like Harold and Ironhide have done. Those are Twitch ways to support what I do, but there are other ways to support what I do here. And again, I'm just going to go through these real quick, and then we'll get back to building. So I have a Patreon, but I would say wait till tomorrow to join my Patreon. It doesn't make sense to join my Patreon today, because it's the end of the month. So on April 1st, it would be such an April Fool's joke if you join my Patreon. What a hilarious joke. Having people support me at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier with different rewards. And there's going to be a new video coming, not tomorrow because it's April 1st, but soon. I'm going to revamp my, not rewards, but my, goals and what happens at those different goals. I'm going to rework that and then shoot a new video for, my, hey, please support me. But but I'm not going to put that out tomorrow because it's April 1st, and that's just weird dated. I try not to put anything out on April 1st if I can avoid it. But yeah, thank you so much for even taking a look at that, my Patreon. I got a YouTube channel. If you want to support me for free, you can just subscribe to my YouTube. Check out the videos. I put out a new video every Wednesday, and every other Monday I put out a video. And it's a good time. YouTube.com/PatBear. And of course, you can join there. And $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. And my next one is going to be about a real person that has gone viral several times for the same event. It's just that video goes viral every couple of years because people don't know that it's old. And we'll talk about that person that has a pretty good, substantial YouTube channel. Or sorry, YouTube channel, Wikipedia article. So yeah, that's coming soon on my Wednesday videos. Anyway, also direct donations. You can just do that. If you don't want to do a monthly thing, why not jump in on a donation? Direct donations, YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch. All the money I make through all those goes in a fund. I take money out of that and I buy model kits with it. This kit was purchased thanks to your generosity by monthly helping me out on those ways. The next thing I'm going to be building... Wait, I'm wrong. The Build Burning was purchased by Lashbrook off my wish list. The next thing I'm building was purchased with your funds. That's right. Lashbrook bought this kit off my Amazon wish list. That's the transition I was going to make, and then I didn't make it properly. My apologies to Lashbrook. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the Amazon wish list. As I said, this jumped the queue. I had other things to make, but I didn't make those things. I built this because it was bought off my Amazon wish list, which you can find out more information by going and clicking the link there in the show description of the YouTube video or in the chat right now. I've got stuff up for pre-order. I got Lego sets. I got model kits, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. A cool car that's going to require liquid cement from Initial D. I got that on there. Big and small, all kinds of kits available for people to check out and take a look at. And at the very bottom, some gear. Because a goal for this year is to step up my game by having a better overhead camera. Instead of the webcam I have with its very minuscule zoom, I would like an actually competent and good. I have a camera, and so I want to experiment with switching and using that camera to do my overhead shots. And I would like to experiment with that. And then there's also some other things there in there as well. That's that. You got a message from seller. Do you have any problems with the screw hole on that light? Lashbrook. The light I'm using right now. No, I don't have any problems with that at all. That's which is good. I did not have any problems. Everything has been good with that. The nice thing for me is I don't touch it, right? I just have it, I turn it on and turn it off, and it's just on I have it screwed into the attachment that lets me sit it on my monitor. So right now, everything is good with that. But thank you for checking in. The light I'm currently using right now, which it illuminates me lovely, also was purchased by Lashbrook, which is fantastic. That was me stepping up my light game, and now I want to step up my camera game. If I have my camera going, I can have it above my third monitor instead of in front of my third monitor, because some of my third monitor is blocked by the current overhead camera, and I don't like that. Anyway, let's get through these and then back to building. An alternative to Amazon would be Throne. There's not much stuff there, but Throne really protects the people that that have lists on their site. They really go above and beyond to keep their information secure, and I appreciate that very much. A lot of people that use lists on Throne are of an adult nature, which I am not. But they're still very cool, and there's still some stuff in there that would be great to either build some model kits or just stuff that would be nice to have to make streams better. So yeah, I got that up there. An alternative, and then you can always just buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. Send me a DM with that code. That is my alternative to wish list. If you're just like, I like to support you, Pat, but I don't know what exactly to get, you just do that. Join my Discord. It's free. Nice people hang out in my Discord, including me. I'm a nice person. I'm in my Discord. But you can join that if you want. A couple video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. This was recorded live on last Wednesday on Twitch. It is me talking about the season that just ended. Technically ends on Saturday. The last shows are like of this season, I believe. They're all wrapping up on Saturday or maybe even Monday. But season is ending, so this is like what happened to the last season, what I liked, what I recommend. And then talking about the new season, which is starting tomorrow. I'm going to be watching a new anime tomorrow, which is wild. I'll be actually 2 new series I'll be checking out tomorrow. Because Aren-san wa Hakarena. Hakarena? I don't know. I got to learn how to say it. There's no English translation of this name, but that got picked up. A show in this video, I say I don't think anyone's going to pick up. Crunchyroll picked it up. It's the excuse me. It is the romantic comedy slice of life about a guy who does a nice gesture to the quiet girl in class, and then a friendship starts, and it draws in a bunch of other people. And if you're like, is that Komi can't communicate? No, because nobody approached Komi because she's beautiful and doesn't talk. Nobody approached this girl for other reasons, I think. And so we're just going to get into that. And that seems very fun. Arena-san. I'm probably just going to call it Arena-san because that'll just be easier for me. I don't speak Japanese. Anyway, also, Do You Remembaer? This is a short Do You Remembaer? Yes. Yes, that is the name, Ghost Valve. Aharen-san. Aharen-san wa Hakarena? Rena? I don't know. It's not Macarena, which somebody said in a video, and that was stuck in my head. Do you remember? I talked about the Nymo tube. The Nymo tube is a really cool old piece of technology, and I just found a Wikipedia article. It's a short Wikipedia article, but it's an animated GIF that I wanted to put in a video and talk about. So I talked about it. Check out that video. It's short. I remembered everything in the article because there wasn't much to it. All right, we're going to get back to building in a second. I'm going to get ready to talk about some manga and some anime and put some effects parts on this model kit. So let me get ready for that. And then let me quickly check this. See here, do we get any notifications of anything? No. Somebody liked a post that I made promoting this stream that I made at 5 p.m. So that tells me that that particular person doesn't see latest on Twitter because they're getting tweets from me from 5 p.m. Anyway, we're going to talk about some manga, but first, I'm going to drink some water and we'll dramatically transition. All right, that is our dramatic transition. We are going to take all the blue parts off here and replace all the blue parts with orange because that's what this kit wants us to do. Because we're doing effects parts, so we might as well trade everything. And I'm going to tell you about the manga. I was reincarnated with OP Invincibility, so I'll beat 'em up my way. This title is terrible to say out loud. So I'm going to do my best with it. I was reincarnated with OP Invincibility, so I'll beat 'em up my way as an action adventurer. So this manga is really just kind of getting started now. It's a very slow burn about getting going with what it wanted to talk about and what it wanted to do, which I think is fine. But basically, our main character is just a dude in a village. There are people out there, they're adventurers, they're doing stuff, they're fighting demons. He's in a town that has protection, and he's just going about his day. He's never left his town, which is it's big, but it's protected with a barrier. He's never been out. He's no, it wasn't something he was interested in doing. And then he makes a decision to protect a young girl he doesn't even know because a fucking dragon showed up. Like a goddamn dragon showed up. And he was like, well, maybe this girl will be okay and I can protect her. And he dies. Dude dies. This is a reincarnation story. Dude is dead. And you're like, oh, wow. He's already in a fantasy world. What happens now? Well, what happens now is a goddess was like, hey, you want to protect people, huh? Well, I will give you the ability to do that. And he doesn't quite understand all about his skills. He learns a little bit more when he gets into another conflict. But basically, he has the ability to put up barriers and to reflect or circumvent, or eventually he's starting to figure out ways to like stop it even from even starting. So that is his power. Luckily, and you're like, well, that's a defensive power, huh? Well, luckily he did meet two girls, one of whom is like a magic sniper, and another girl who I think she's support magic. So he does meet two people. They're twins, and they're like, what the fuck just happened? How did you do that? And he's like, I don't know. A goddess told me. I can't remember if he told him about the goddess. But anyway, he's just like, I think he just said, I don't know. I don't understand my powers, but I have them. And they're like, okay, well, come with us. Turns out they're breaking off their own because their father, who's a duke, thought they were weak. And they've got a bit of a backstory that we haven't gotten too deep into. And they meet somebody they're friends with somebody who's actually strong. And it looks like our dude is going to become an adventurer because he wants to help people. He wants to do more. He's been given this power because we also find out there's not just a goddess for this world. There are a bunch of gods, and there is a bigger story that we are not privy to yet that we will become privy to. It looks like there might be a conflict between gods. It might just be that there are some evil gods, and it might also be that this wasn't just like a happenstance, that maybe there's some destiny, because of course there is. I should also say that both of these girls don't wear a lot of clothes and are big boobed. And that's whatever and weird, but not weird because it's anime. It has nothing to do with anything. And then the other girl that they meet, who is very strong, is also very flirty with him because she knows that it embarrasses him and she thinks that's fun. And it's all pretty goddamn cliche and whatever. It's fine. But I have enjoyed what I've read of it. I will probably keep reading it. I imagine I'll keep reading it because, like I said, I have enjoyed what I've chucked out so far. Would like to read more, and we'll see. I'll report back if it gets real weird or real good. It's a little early. I didn't have anything that I was like, because usually I like to get into like not necessarily finishing the first conflict, but I like to hit the point where I know where the story is going. Like, I kind of wish that I had waited longer on 28, which was about an assassin that defeated the Demon King, a lord, in secret, that is now in school. He went to school because they wouldn't let him retire completely, so he's there protecting a princess. Because that story was like fun and in like kind of light. And now it is actually what the story is about, is in which case he is now run away with her and is protecting her. And it is definitely taken a turn. But that took like a bunch of fucking chapters to get that far. So it's just like, okay, well, if this was an anime, this would be the second season. And speaking of anime, let's talk about some anime in just a second, because two shows that I was watching just wrapped up this season, so we can talk about that while I put a shitload of effects parts on this kit. She professed herself Pupil of the Wise Man. I'll be honest, folks, I don't know why this anime got made. This is just source material isn't that good. The anime isn't that good. The anime looks like fucking trash because it's a series about a girl that or the character anyway, that manifest these summons, and almost all of the summons are bad looking CGI. It's just we're left with so many more. We still don't know why any of these characters were summoned, why the video game world became real, why some people were locked away for so long and others weren't. I mean, it was kind of like the ending is basically like the same. Basically, the event that happened in the video game, the raid that happened in the video game right before all of the conflict started, the major conflict of the series started, happens again. And our main character basically solves the problem almost identically to how they solved it before. So it's just like, that's not even interesting. I'm just frustrated with it because I like some of the character designs. I think they're fun. And I like some of the minor characters, many of whom we didn't see in the show. Or we didn't see in this episode, or the last episode. And it just kind of ends with like, all right, and then she's going to go traveling. She's going to go traveling, and she's going to go find the characters that we haven't seen in the show. You're like, I mean, all right, I guess. Okay, so we can just put this like this if we want. And then there's just like flames that shoot out. Or we can twist it around some and do it like a different way. This. And then put it on. 31 is 3. So anyway, I want to like She Professed Herself Pupil the Wise Man because I think like some parts of it are cute. I also genuinely enjoy that this show is not like the fact that she is a girl in this, whereas she was not a girl in her human life pre-incident. I do like that they don't dwell on it. It's not like a fucking problem. Well, I don't like the effects part thing, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do it like this. So I appreciate that they don't super dwell on that. And make it about that, like one of the other shows this season. So, yeah, overall, I'm just kind of disappointed in it. I would like to, if it had been a better show than it was. That's She Professed Herself Pupil the Wise Man. I don't recommend it. I mean, if you still have a Funimation account, I mean, and you just were like, I guess I'll just watch this thing because I still have I still have time on my month or whatever and watch it ad free, I guess. Definitely not. I don't think it worth your time. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt ended satisfactorily. I thought the ending wasn't too bad. This is an ongoing story. You're not going to really hit your stride there at the end. I think they built up this villain that he finally had to overcome pretty well, and the ways he got the support he needed in order to take it on, I thought was good. Wasn't expecting a big romantic moment in the show. That just not the show's vibe. But I did think it wrapped up pretty neatly, and I think overall it was pretty okay. All right, so I'm gonna take a photo with these flames and then the fist effects, and then we're gonna build out more effects from the fist effects. I gotta find the fists here. These effects look a little different depending on the plastic. So Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. I thought it wrapped up pretty neatly. I was pretty happy with it. It's not my favorite show this season, but I liked it more than I was expecting to. I think the character work was strong. Good voice cast. And overall, pretty solid. All right, so I'm going to take a photo with these effects, with our effect fists and the different colors here. We'll get one photo in with this, and then we'll add even more effects to it. This is pretty neat. We just get a photo here. And, ooh. Cool effects. Because we also have to put the... We got a bunch of... We got kick effects and, yeah, just like a lot of really silly stuff to put on here. We got fire fists and fire kicks, so it's very silly. Whole lot of cool nonsense effects parts to put on here. All right, so that's me talking about this. I'm done talking about anime and manga and all that. So let me ask y'all, what have you been playing? What are you watching? What are you engaging with? You gonna go see any of the movies that are coming out this weekend? That there's a Marvel things and stuff such or DC property. I don't know. There's stuff coming out. I'm not going to the movies. You know me. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you're checking out, what you're enjoying. I don't have anything new since Saturday. Or not Saturday, since Tuesday. Yeah, Monday. Since Monday when I streamed Model Kits. I mean, yesterday I played a bunch of Pokemon Platinum leading up to the stream because I wanted to level up my Pokemon some. Because I think that's more fun for all of us if I can level that stuff up. So I did that, and that was good. I'm glad I did that. All right, so we got to put effects parts here. Got to attach some cool effects parts to this. I got all these cool flames. One is this one there. We moved on to Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, second gig. Nice. Dirty says going to go watch the MCU adjacent Morbius tomorrow after my physical. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know nothing about that, and I wasn't. Yeah. I just don't know anything about that particularly. Ghost in the Shell, I do know about standalone complex. Nice. Enjoy with your watch-alongs and such, or your watch-throughs. All right. I'm putting all these effects parts on our fists here. Because that is just a silly thing that I get to do. Okay, 2, which is over here. Great. Like second gig, way better. Yeah, I remember really enjoying second gig. So I hope you enjoy it as well. Yeah, I am currently playing Persona 5 Golden, I believe. Yeah, nice. Lord Crashin has been playing more Tunic. I'm in this quarry area that is kind of annoying. At least I have a thing that makes me not lose health constantly. Hell yeah, Lord Crashin. That's nice. That's nice to have. Yeah, as far as me, I'm playing Hearthstone. We got a new month, so resetting a few things with and fine with that. So I was trying to rank up as far as I could in Wild today. Didn't get as far as I would like in Wild, but I got pretty far. So hopefully I will get some sweet rewards. I've been saving my coins to open packs next season. Next season does start, I believe, the 14th, I want to say. No, not the 14th. The 11th, or the 12th. The 12th, yes. I believe Tuesday the 12th, a new Hearthstone expansion comes out. I did not pre-order packs, but I have a lot of gold saved up, and I will just do that. And then I will most likely also spend money on the booster thing for basically their compendium. Because I like those things. I like when the numbers go up, and if I can pay a little bit of money to make the numbers go up faster and get more rewards for doing that, I'll do it. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that's the next video game thing that I'm looking forward to is just new cards. We got a new month starting, and then new cards coming out, and stuff rotating out of standard. Maybe some new cards that will make my wild decks more fun. Some new strategies, some new broken cards that will need to be reworked very quickly. I'm excited about it. Been reading a lot of Coney. Coney can't communicate, and every flashback to her parents in high school is great. Ooh, nice, Lashbrook. I haven't seen that because I haven't read a lot of Comey, so that's awesome. I like that. It's cruel that there's a save point I found that is physically inaccessible with what I can do right now, says Lord Crashton. That is very frustrating, Lord Crashton. Here's the thing. Do you know you can't do it? Maybe you can, and you just, because you haven't gotten the page that gives you a hint that you can do it, which really sucks. It is not helpful, I know. All right, so here's one of our arm effects, which I'm trying to get on to look good, but it's a little hard to get going here. There's our big arm effect, and then we're just gonna do. I'm not gonna do all of the wavy ones on that. I'm just gonna do the I've got my fist down, ready to super punch here. And then let me get my foot going. I got to do my foot effect, which is just so silly to say that I'm going to have to put these. No, they don't have two foot effects because how are you going to do a double kick? You're only going to do a single kick. So we're just going to get the one cool foot effect going, which is fine. I'm not mad about that. See, that's 6. Is that 6? Yeah, that's 6. Yeah, I mean, is there any of the comics I've been reading? Let me see. Let me see if there's any comic stuff that I can't remember, stuff I've talked about before that is heating up. I'm gonna look through my updates and see if there's anything that I'm like, oh, I mean, slime. How that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Things were heating up, and then this felt like a cooling off chapter that just came out. But now it looks like it's going to heat up even more. Have I talked about Gotcha? I think I've talked about I was almost killed by my teammates. Yeah, like the my Gotcha level 9,999 unlimited. Yeah, my gift level 9,999 unlimited Gotcha. I think I've talked about unlimited Gotcha before. It was fucking so funny. The strongest ever elf, and this girl is like, yeah, I'm here to test your skills, and she just cut through his sword and almost basically killed him instantly. This has been great for humans are the weakest. And, we won't deal with any humans. We're not going to have a problem with anything. And there's just a bunch of people who have done some bad shit, instantly getting their comeuppance every chapter. In the last few chapters, there's been, this whole group of people just constantly getting owned immediately and unquestionably owned. And it has been very enjoyable. I have enjoying that quite a bit. Because these folks just get completely wrecked. And it has been funny to watch them get destroyed. So that's been good. I've been reading that, and that's been pretty good. Did you ever read Mr. Villain's Day Off? Yeah, Dirty, I did check that out. I wasn't super into it. I didn't give it, maybe I didn't give enough chapters, but I didn't immediately get hooked on it. I liked the premise, but I just wasn't super enjoying myself with it. So I didn't go super hard into it. Let's see. What was the other one that I've been reading that I was like, ooh, this is getting good. Let me check my bookmarks over here. Return to the Disaster Class Hero has been pretty solid. That's a manhwa that I have been enjoying. There's been some really good shenanigans with that that I have been liking very, very much. That has been pretty solid lately. Oops. Let's see. Maxed out leveling. We're finally getting some fucking. We just had a dude who was trying to fuck around with our main character. He is just about to find out that he is fucked up, and that he should not have done that. So that has been fun. Because yeah, he fucked around and now he is finding out. We are in that stage of that. I'm almost ready. Almost had enough chapters to talk to you about Skill Lender's Retrieving Tale. because I think I'm 6 chapters into that. I'm waiting for like maybe in the 7th chapter. The premise of that one was great, but I don't love that the main character is now pretty much out of nowhere an edgelord. I don't love that. The premise of this dude was part of the hero's party, and he could lend his skills out. He could learn all these kind of skills. He couldn't use them super well, but he could lend them out. And he was like, the thing is, over time, everybody got really used to the skills they had. It turns out they also suck shit, but they got used to those skills, and you know, they started like understanding in their minds that it's the kicked out of the hero's party thing, that like he's not, you know, he can't contribute anything, so he's worthless. And they didn't understand interest, and they definitely didn't understand compound interest, because he lent them for a long time. So when they said you're fired, and he's like, well, I'm going to take my skills back, they don't understand that they are weak as hell. They're just learning. They can't do some of the moves they thought. Like a couple of them have figured it out, but not all of them. And that has been pretty fucking funny to check out. But he's also, now that he has power, our main character is kind of a sadistic asshole. And I don't love that, and I was kind of surprised by that. It's just like, all right, well, I know they treated you bad, but you're kind of a dick now. That's weird. Wasn't expecting that. So, not my favorite, but it's still pretty good. All right, we got our fist now. We got our cool. Look at this nonsense. I think I'm going to keep one of this part of the effects, and I'm going to go back to everything else. Because I think this is pretty great. But yeah, I finished the kit, and then I did all these cool, weird effects parts that I think look rad. Maybe I'll leave that. But I'm going to take a photo of this here with all of the cool effects parts, because this is super cool. We'll try to get everything in on this. I'm trying to think of any other manga that I've been reading that I've been like, oh, this shit has been really fun and good, or manhwa either, that like I've already talked about on stream. I'm going to talk about Unluckiest to Strongest Man soon, which has a really interesting idea. I want more chapters of it, but it's a really interesting concept where this dude had a very unfortunate guy had really bad luck, and so when he gets reincarnated, he suddenly has really good luck. But the cost is that good luck can lead to opportunities that can lead to some bad luck. So it's not like he has a perfect life. Because they're like two sides of the same coin. And it's interesting. Also, it's another reincarnation where he is like has his memories as a baby. So that one was kind of interesting. So I am looking forward to checking more. I'm waiting for like another chapter because I think we're at 6 right now. And Incompetent is actually the world's strongest wizard is another one that I think I'm 6 chapters in. I'm waiting for a few more. There's a few that I would like to get a few more chapters in before I talk about it on stream, but I'm interested in it. Because basically, like, I want to get past the premise. I don't want to just, like, regurgitate what the premise is. I want to get into some of the, like, okay, now that we know what the premise is, what is the movement of this particular series? Where are they going with this? I like to hit that stuff if I can. So the hope is that I can learn more about that before I tell y'all about it. All right, let's do that. So we'll talk about the Esposito beta, but we're not going to start that tonight. It's a 30-minute missions. We'll be doing this on Saturday and then starting something else because I don't think it's going to take all stream to do it. Look, will it take longer than 30 minutes? Yeah, I mean, we're going to panel line it. I'm a little slower than that. It says, but I don't think it's going to take a whole lot of time to do. Let me get my tweezers out here. Get these hands out of this. So I don't want to say like, oh, I don't think 30 minutes is 30-minute missions kit is going to take the whole stream, but it also isn't going to be. I don't think I'm going to be finishing it up super quick. So, oops. I want this cool hand, effects hand to come out, and it's really jammed in. There we go. I got it. Good thing I have these tweezers. It was really jammed in there. So yeah, so that'll be, but we can talk about the kit, but that'll be Saturday stream, and then something else I'll put a poll out tomorrow to get my $10 patrons to decide what I'm going to be working on next. So I'm going to leave some of these effect parts on this kit, and I think I'll display it because I think it looks neat like this. I think the effects parts are cool, so I'm going to keep those. So you'll see that in the background. I'm probably going to rotate one of the other model kits out so that I can put that up there. But I won't keep these other parts because I don't want them. All right, so put that there, put that there. Put that there. Let's talk about this kit, and we'll just get rid of the burning. There. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working on Saturday. The Esposito beta. This is a 30-minute missions kit. You can see here we don't have a lot of sprues here. There's an A, A1 and A2, and then there's a B, and then a couple C's, a bunch of C parts here. So yeah, not that many. And then, do we have polycaps? Of course we have some polycaps, but these are, you know, we don't have that many because these kits. So the idea is with 30-minute missions is they don't take too long to build, and then you can mix and match a bunch of these parts. Instructions do have some color, which is very nice. We got the head unit. Another thing that this does, that this instruction manual does, is tell you what sprues you're going to need for that section, which is great. So it's going to like, hey, you're going to need A1, and you're going to need these parts in A1, and then you're going to need C1. And it does do the color coding on the GM. These are standalones, but you can mix and match them here. The 30-minute missions kits allow you to kind of like take parts and put them with other things. You can mix and match among the 30-minute missions. Because this is like the core unit, and then you can get like, you can take like other accessories, but also because it has like a bunch of not polycaps, there's sort of like connector spots for other parts. You can really customize them. This is the only one I have, so this is the only one I can do. But you can see here, it does in the color thing. It does say like, hey, what you're gonna need and where it is. You're going to need 2 of the polycaps. You're going to need this and this and this. I think that the instructions here look pretty fucking rad. And then it's like, okay, now how do you make this into a different version of it? It also like gives you the like very short version. Like you can do all of this just by looking at this one page. If you want to just like, if you're like a pro, you can just look at this one page and just go and build all the parts there. Which I think that's rad. That is a very cool idea. That they can just be like, yeah, you do this, here's the things you do, and then you're done. Oh, we just got a follow from Zerns702. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. We're towards the end of the stream tonight, but thanks for hitting the follow. Because we'll be streaming again and working on a new kit in the future. But yeah, I like that this is all on one page if you want to do that. And then there is the transformation looks pretty simple to do for the flight mode. But yeah, it's the 3mm hard point holes and the C joints to kind of customize it with stuff. There's like another vehicle thing that comes with another kit that you can attach later if you wanted to the flight mode. But I also like that the flight mode, it actually looks kind of cool and doesn't try to hide the head, which I think is very silly that it doesn't. But I don't know. I'm excited to put this together. Again, I've never done one of these before, and it does like, yeah, if you have some optional parts and stuff, you can add in other things, which is neat. Yeah, just seems kind of chill and easy to do. And we'll be doing it on Saturday. I don't know what else we'll be doing. I'm going to put a poll out tomorrow about what I do after this kit, because it will not take the whole stream to do. So, like I said, I don't know exactly what comes next on there, but I'll figure it out. And then you'll know. I'll know, and then you'll know. But yeah, that's the next thing we'll be working on. I've got high grades. I've got a Lego set to put together, a bunch of different things, and so I'll put the call out to patrons, my $10 patrons, to make the decision. I'll probably put a message out tomorrow, and it'll be the first one of the month for them to check out. We're gonna wrap things up. I think we're good there. I was happy to work on this kit. Final thoughts on this kit, I should say. Happy to work on it. I think it looks neat. I think the effects parts are really nice. I do like the blue, but I think the orange also works really good with the red. And we don't see enough orange here. So this came with a lot of effects, which is great since it doesn't have any weapons or a shield or anything. No, not even beam weapons. No melee weapons or anything, because it's all about fists and kicks. Very G Gundam inspired. But I think it was cool, and I'm very surprised this was just like a kit I just missed along the way. But I did enjoy working on it. So we're going to call that complete, and we'll go back over here. And we're going to raid. That is how we end every stream, is we go on a lovely raid just to share the love with somebody else in the community. Speaking of community, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you come back and check out the stream on Saturday, where I'm working on the Esposito beta. Yes, as M. John says, we end with a raid. That is how we end things over here on the old Build with Baer. Let me see if I can find somebody doing something rad out there on Twitch that we want to go and hang out with. Who's doing stuff? I wonder how long they have been streaming. Because I think I might want to raid a person who we don't see at night that often on a weekday, so we don't get a chance to raid. But let's see. Did they? Okay. They've only been streaming for like an hour, it seems like, or not that long at all. We're gonna go raid. Is it not Esposito like the name? No, I think it's Esposito. We're gonna raid Abby Russell, but because it's Esposito. So it could be Esposito. It could be Esposito. But because of the double S, I thought it was Esposito because of the double S. So I might just be talking out of my ass, but I thought it was Esposito because it has the double S. I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll try to find out. But we're going to raid Abby Russell because Abby Russell is playing Fortnite, and that's fun. And Kevin Budnick, friend of the stream, Kevin, is also playing, and I don't know who the other person is. But Abby rules, and I haven't watched a Fortnite stream in a while, and I haven't watched an Abby... I mean, I watched an Abby stream like this weekend, but we haven't raided an Abby stream in a long time. So let's go raid Abby, because she's the best. So feel free to come along. I had to copy it because I couldn't remember how many B's and A's were in her name, which is great for an online persona. She knows. But thanks so much for being here. Come along on this raid. Abby's great. You'll love it. And thanks for coming on the stream. I'll see you in the next Build with Baer. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.